And we are back at the OPP, the Oquendo Perspective Podcast. First and foremost, I would like to thank my Lord Jesus Christ and Savior for this opportunity. Without Him, none of this would be possible. See? That being said, today's episode about my kids. We're gonna just we're gonna have a conversation on dating and this idea that the Lord has me working on. So that'll be basically what we're gonna be doing today. So we'd appreciate it if you guys can like and share, subscribe if possibly, you know what I'm talking about, so we can work this algorithm and get it going. So basically today, what we're gonna talk about today with my kids right here, is that you know what I'm saying, so the Father has bestowed upon me like a job or something to do. You know what I'm talking about? So basically what it is I'm gonna be the voice for the forgotten sector that has kind of happened in the church. So what do I mean by that? What I mean is this. So say you go to any church, you know what I'm talking about, and you accept the Lord as your Savior, and Lord and Savior. And once you do that, you're gonna want to get involved, you know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna have that hunger for Him. So you're gonna want to get involved in something at the church. So in the church they usually have like a children's ministry, they have like a youth ministry, and then it kind of skips the sector that my kids are going into. This is why I want to try to do what I gotta do, so they can benefit from this job that the Lord has given upon to me. So, and then there's always like a men's group and there's always a women's group. So I'm here to be the voice, because it's basically it just seems like the kids group, usually has around, I don't know, about 12. And the youth group usually starts in high school, 14 to like 20. And then there's that like from 21 to like you get married. That's the sector that kind of gets lost in the church a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And the problem is that's a very dangerous sector to lose, because the fact of the matter is it's kind of hard to always meet somebody at church, at your own church, and find the person you're supposed to be with, at your own church. You know what I'm saying? So what happens is usually the young men and women around this time, so they tend to go out and they'll meet somebody that's not in church, and doesn't have the same kind of thinking that they're thinking, and doesn't have the same background. So what I'm going to try to do, with this the kind of podcast we're trying to work on, is that we're going to I don't know, maybe once twice a year, I want to see if I can set up a convention. So I'm going to go to different churches, and I'm going to go interview youths from all over the area. Actually, this past weekend we had on the 18th we had a march called the Jesus Walk. So basically, it was a whole bunch of churches got together and marched for Jesus, and just out there spreading the word, So I was out there talking to the pastors and pastors' wives, and let them know this idea that I'm working on. And a lot of them, they were good with it, talking about. So what I want to do, like I said, is once I interview different sets and churches and different individuals, I want to one day hold like a one-day convention, just like in the morning we can have a service from 10 to 12, worship the Father together, and then bring a guest speaker and talk about relationship goals and what we should be looking for. Maybe in the afternoon, I would say from like 1 to 5, we can have like a picnic, where everybody can gather and just be youth, young men and women of, of God, and just conversate with people who they would never meet unless they had something like this to bring them together, So I would say we ended about 5 or 6, talking about at 7. I want to see if I can hold like a concert, have some group come in, and we hold a concert, and then we all can fellowship together, talking about, and just create opportunities for the forgotten sector. That's what that's the goal of this whole thing, you know, talking about. So why am I doing this? So we're gonna take it to the word first, all right? So I'm gonna have my daughter read. She's gonna read 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 14.
Do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers. For what partnership has righteousness with lawlessness? Or what fellowship has light with darkness?
See, so now seeing that, what do you get out of that reading right there? What do you understand from that? Let me see what you think. I want to see what you think. What you get out of it.
So I just took away that like it's better to not be unequally yoked because you guys you're not gonna mesh well. You both have different values, different beliefs, and it's better to be on the same page. You'll have a stronger relationship that way. And it's to be founded in God.
All right. What do you get out of it?
I'll agree. I was off in the corner for a little bit.
So okay.
I'll speak on it once we get
more into it. All right. So basically, what's basically saying is that you know, you guys have grown up a certain way. You got certain beliefs. You got certain backgrounds. You know what I'm talking about. And so in all religions, most religions they want to keep, you know, saying there are people within their religion. You know what I'm talking about? Because that means they have similar backgrounds, similar beliefs. They're equally yoked. You know, as a Christian, you want someone like yourselves that has the same ideas that you have. You know what I'm talking about? Because though whatever is causing that for you guys to be unequally yoked, eventually that's going to cause a problem. Eventually. So basically, the big thing is in this forgotten sector is a lot of times, young men and women at your age, they kind of, you know, since they're left to the outside, they have to go out there and kind of figure it out. And sometimes they'll get together with someone in another religion or different beliefs, but since neither one of you guys are active members, you guys don't really pay attention. You guys, we're just having a good time. You fall in love, whatever. And you think everything's fine and dandy, and then you might, you might even fall in love and get engaged, and and want to get married, you know. So, but since you guys aren't into your religions, you know, somebody you're okay with everything. The fact of the matter is, eventually, that right there is going to cause a rift between you guys. So, say you do get married and you have a child, his family wants him to be whatever they are. And your family wants to be, so eventually being unequally yoked, those are just stumbling blocks that come between you and your partner. Why? Because your thinkings and the way you've been brought up is totally different, you know. And you know, in other countries, I mean, they pick who they are. They got arranged marriages, you know, just for that specific reason. So you don't, you know, say fall into those situations, you know. So that's the whole reason that I think that we want to create, saying that not just me, the Lord wants to create an environment where people can gather together that are like-minded and have similar goals and similar backgrounds, and at least they'll be able to meet, you know, talking about, because it's kind of hard to find your person at your own church. So, and the thing is, kind of weird too to go into other churches just to try to meet somebody. So by holding something together like this, it brings everybody together, and then you allow the Lord to do what He wants to do. You know what I'm talking about? So that's the main reason of this. This is why we're doing this, because, you know, my kids, you guys have reached that age. You know, I mean, I know you're about to graduate. You graduated. You want to continue your studies. So for now, it's kind of still easy for you guys because you guys are still in the mix. Everything is there for you. You're at school, you know, saying there's girls, you know, saying, you know, there's men, whatever, you know, and if you're dating somebody, whatever, you know, whatever. But, you know, it's still easy. But say you finish school and you go into the work program and into the work world, you don't want to meet somebody at work. Because, you know, I mean, don't get me wrong, it can possibly work, but what if you guys don't get along? At some point, what if something comes in between y'all? It's going to cause a big rift, you know what I'm talking about? So right now it's easy, but there's going to become a time where it's going to get more difficult. But having something to fall back on, like this that we're trying to do, I think it'll help out the youth of your up and coming age. You know what I'm talking about? Okay, so what do you think about that? What do you think? What do you think about that idea?
I mean, I think it's a great idea. Because what? Oh, I think it's a great idea because I think you should go first, honestly.
Oh, do you mean as far as the event?
Yeah, as far as saying gathering a whole bunch of saying having a place where people can gather and open doors that would probably never be opened if it wasn't for something that brought you together like this.
Yeah, as you were saying, it's definitely a good idea because it's when you usually meet someone in public, they might not necessarily have the similar beliefs as you were saying. And an event like that, it could bring people together, maybe who would have never met before. And like you said, if you just went up to someone in church, maybe you saw someone who maybe you thought they were cute or pretty or something, or maybe well, that's mostly likely how it would happen. But like that, it'd be kind of strange. Maybe they wouldn't expect to meet like someone to come up, approach them in church. Maybe they might find it as weird or kind of awkward. They wouldn't know what to do. But maybe at an event like this, it'd be a good opportunity for people who would never met to meet.
Yeah, I agree. I think it just creates like just a lot of opportunity for people my age. Because also, I feel like a lot of people in my age group, like we're not gonna meet people at the best of places usually, and the only option is church. Really, if you're trying to look for somebody just out, like not on the street, but like just out there, it's harder for sure.
I agree. This is why the Lord bestowed this project on me because my children are reaching that age. There's three of you guys, only two are here right now, but there's three of you guys who are about to go into that sector. And I think having opportunities like this would be helpful for you guys and anybody upcoming your age. Okay. So now what we're gonna talk about right now is we're good with that. That's what we're gonna do. So now I want to talk about dating. What does dating look like in today's day? I'm gonna tell you how it looked at my day, and you guys are gonna kind of fill me in on what it looks like today. And one of the main questions that I have for you guys is, what do you think that the online dating how has that helped the situation of today's day? Do you think has been a positive or has been a negative in today's dating world?
I can start. I think it was meant to be a positive. It was meant to like just go with the new age and new technology and make everybody just reach each other better and better opportunity. But actually it had negative impacts because I feel like it became we kind of talked about this like hookup culture or just more lustful. It's all about like somebody's looks. When yes, looks are important, but it's also like when you go up to like talk to somebody, like you get to know like who they are rather than just meeting up with somebody random. So I think it definitely didn't help the dating situation. It made it worse for sure.
What do you think, son?
I think there's definitely a negative to it. As Mia was saying, hookup culture is definitely a lot easier when you have online like apps that help you do this or like social media, for example. So there's a net negative there, but I also think it could be positive for some people because maybe in the past, say like prior to the internet and these type of things, there were people that might have been a little more inclined to be like less social, so they didn't find themselves in as many opportunities to meet other people. But with the coming of like social media and dating apps, maybe they have the possibility to meet people. So that could be seen as a positive, but there's also negatives, as she was saying.
See, the way I kind of see it is it caught a little bit of a negative implication. Fact of the matter is, you're sitting there swiping left, swiping right. If you swipe left, that means you don't want nothing to do with the person. But if you swipe right, you're willing to, hey, I hit this person. And if they swipe back, then basically it's already understood, saying, hey, we're going to do what we do. And depending on how it goes, then we'll see each other again. Saying I feel like that's what's going on in hookup culture,
Yeah.
But in my time, we didn't have that time, saying that late. Go ahead.
Also, let me just say that also another negative that I don't think we mentioned is It also made people, I think, that are on the younger side. It kind of made them, I feel like, less confident in themselves and to be able to go in public. Like, for example, it's usually males who approach the women. It made males less confident to be able to approach like women in public. And I think that's a negative too, because that kind of makes them a little more. It's not natural, you know. That's like a natural thing you should be able to do, and it's kind of unnatural.
And also, wait, I want to add on something too. So, like, I would say it does like help like hookup culture, but when they swipe right, it doesn't necessarily mean like you're down to like both do stuff like certain stuff. I would say there's definitely mutual attraction, but like there is that argument too where like people are on there for like genuine relationships. But majority, I would say you're right. Yeah,
and I agree with you. But the fact of the matter is, how many times someone's been catfished? You know, there's a lot of implications that there's a lot of variables that come with it. You know what I'm saying? Like. When in my time, you know, late '90s, early 2000s, we actually had to come up and talk to the person. You know, hey, you know, in a minute, I'll tell you guys how you know I used to us men we had to approach the women. You know what? And you're right. And if you weren't confident, you were going to get nowhere. You were not going to get nowhere. You know. So yeah. So basically, you know, it's like I feel like you with online dating, it's like you kind of skip that stage. Kind of skip to say even if you do like each other and you guys talk a little bit, you know what I'm saying, it's not the same when you have to do it face to face. You know what I'm saying? Because you could be talking to somebody online and they could just be telling you what you want to hear. They could be like, hey, you know what I'm saying, I got this person, you know what I'm saying, and you don't know anything, you know what I'm talking about, because why? But in times before, if you were being phony, I could see you like, oh, whatever, you know what I'm talking about. You can see it. That's one of the things, you know, saying that I think has, you know, kind of just brought distance between males and females when it comes to like respecting each other and honoring each other and you know, and just the whatever's separated us. I think that has to do with some of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So basically, okay. So say right now, say you wanted to meet somebody. How would you go about meeting somebody? Just or maybe not yourself, a friend, or whatever. What have you seen? How people approach dating nowadays? And then you give me an idea too of what you've seen with your friends. It doesn't have to be about you guys, but what you've seen and what you know, because you can only speak out what you see and what you know.
It doesn't matter.
Well, for me, as you were saying earlier, most of I like to do it in public. Like I'm not I guess I'm not as equipped as online as I am in public because I have more experience in public. So the people I've met have been me like approaching them, and like you said, it's been at my school, at colleges most of the time. I don't have a lot of experience with, even though I have done some like DMs through Instagram and through social media and stuff. I don't have as much experience with that as I do, or dating apps as I do in approaching people in public. I feel like that's worked better for me.
Okay.
And then I've never done dating apps. Most of my friends haven't, so I don't know too many people who have like met through that.
There definitely is, even though maybe not for us, we haven't personally experienced it, but a lot of people that a lot of my friends and like acquaintances I know, have definitely met people through social media and dating apps. So I wouldn't say it's definitely common amongst like our age group. Just for us, we don't experience it as much as other people.
Yeah, I've never had experience. Usually people just like come up to me, or like my friends. People go up to my friends. Like that's good.
Okay, well that's good. You know, that's basically what I experienced. So basically, like say like me. Say I'm you know, we actually had those. I mean, you can always find females at the clubs, at the bars. You know what I'm talking about. But you just never really know that was really gonna go anywhere, because it was basically, you might get lucky, but you might not. So a lot of times you know saying, if you're not in school, go ahead.
Let me just ask you then. Well, I guess you're talking, but so like you're saying, if you're not in school and you don't want to meet someone at work, at your work, or maybe like at the gym, if you go to the gym a lot, say at the gym, where would you meet someone? If you're not doing these things, and those are off limits.
Well, see, back in the day, back in the day, you had to figure it out. You know what I'm talking about? Say back in the day, I'm at the mall shopping, and I see a female, and then I'd have to go out of my way you know, and it wasn't like you needed to have a be able to talk. Because if you couldn't talk, you're not gonna get nowhere, you know what I'm saying? So basically, you know, I'd have to come up to the girl and say, hey, excuse me, you know, saying I don't mean no disrespect, you know, I don't know if you're seeing somebody, if you're not, if you are, I'll walk away right now, you know, because I don't want to disrespect nobody. But if you're not, you know, saying, hey, is it okay if I get your name? You know what I'm saying? And if they give me the name, then I'll be like, you know what, hey, man, I would love to take you out if you will allow me to, you know what I'm saying? If you give me the pleasure to take you out. So you had to like say stuff like that to get in, you know what I'm talking about? So, you know, and then once you guys spoke, then you guys exchanged numbers, you know what I'm talking about? And there was no texting. It was like you guys had to speak, you know what I'm saying? I mean, texting came later, but it wasn't as much, it wasn't like it is now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everybody's, you know, you guys don't even call anymore, you don't even talk anymore. You guys just text. So for us, it was a little different, you know? And hardly ever did you ever meet someone and went and hooked up with them. No, there was a process back then, you know, so it was a process. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm saying. That online, you know, talking about swiping left, swiping right kind of skips over that process, you know? And then that's get to know the person and knowing their background and know where they're really from, you know? We kind of skipped through all that. So that's what I see in dating today's society, kind of sort of.
So are you trying to say that, like, do you think that it has a more negative impact than like, what's your stance on it? This online dating, this social media. What's your stance on this?
So this online dating to me, like I said a little earlier, I think it does a disservice to like the real men and real women. You know, it's like you can't be real if you're just swiping left. You can't swiping right. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can talk to you can talk to somebody, but I don't know about you guys, but to me, I just don't give my trust away. No. For me to trust you, you're gonna have to earn my trust. You know what I'm saying? So you have to earn my trust, and the only way you're gonna do that is by me communicating, talking to you, and be like, okay, she's meeting certain standards, certain goals. Boom, she's meeting them. So okay, we can take this forward. But I feel like now it's like you kind of skip all that. You kind of skip all that, and it's like rushed. It's like rushed. Like we were talking earlier. You know, it's like it's hard to keep a woman nowadays. It's really difficult. The females have gotten very picky. They've gotten very picky. I actually saw the study when they asked like 100 beautiful women a survey, to fill out a survey, and the survey consisted of like 40 characteristics, nice characteristics of men that they wanted. You know what I'm saying? Which characteristics do you want in your man? And most of the women said, I want them all 40 characteristics. I was like, damn. Okay. So, and you know what? And I'm talking about good-looking women. Now, they did the same thing to like an average or a not so average, you know, 3 or 4. They same thing, and they still wanted the 40 things. It was like there's the standards. It's like, oh, but us men nowadays, I feel like if we sit there and push back, we get canceled real quick. Oh, if we say, hey, I don't like a chunky chick, whatever, you know what I'm talking about? You know, you can't say that nowadays. But we have to accept it. We have to accept the fact that they want all that, even though we're not gonna give them all that. So
you're saying in general, you think this online dating culture is done a disservice to men and women? Is that what you basically are saying?
Yes,
that's pretty much what you said.
Yes. I think it's doing a disservice. It just cuts out the connection, making that connection with your person. You know,
because I think maybe not so much for you because it came as you were already a little bit, you know. But for people who grew up more with social media and these things, I think we've learned to adapt to it, and it's become so ingrained in the society that like people have learned to use these things for beneficial reasons. I'm sure as she was saying, a lot of people have found good people through these things. I think it's ideally, maybe as you were saying, maybe if it was never around, there would have been a different type of experience that we'd be having. But like now that it's here, I think you got to take it for what it is, you know.
No, I know, and I agree, and I can only imagine, like, say your little brothers. What are they gonna? What's it gonna look like for them? You know what I'm talking about? And I'm thinking, and I'm also thinking, like, you know what, this, you know, it's like when you just swiping left, swiping right, swiping left, swiping right. It's like, I don't know. It's just made everybody like equal. You know what I'm talking about? Like women, the women want to be a little more masculine, like men, and then the men have become a little more feminine. That's so I've been interviewing quite a young people, and I've asked them what's going on with society nowadays, and then you know, and I've noticed that a lot of them are like the females are saying about the men in this like in your age frame is that, you know, a lot of them don't want to grow up. Yeah, a lot of them have that Peter Pan syndrome. Basically, they want to stay kids. You know, so they don't. You know, the marriage. So marriage is nobody wants to get married anymore. You know what I'm talking about?
That's like that has more than just these like relationship things. I feel like that's a product of the parents too, how they raise the kids, and just there's a lot of more complex things that go into how this Peter Pan syndrome that you're saying.
But in general, you didn't hear that back in the day. You didn't hear that. Like, at least now it's being spoken about. I'm not saying everybody is. I'm just saying it's being spoken of. So if it's being spoken about, there has to be some type of truth to it. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, for sure.
That's all I'm saying.
Sure.
I'm not saying everybody's like that, but I'm just saying that all of this has been caused, like you were saying earlier. Guys have to be like extra confident nowadays to go talk to a female. You know, it's you know, and
it's like an easy out.
It's an easy out. You know, so that's what's going on. So that was the difference, I think, in between our times. Your time, you know what I'm saying, you get a little assistance from you know what I'm saying, from online and stuff. We didn't have none of that. Yeah. We had to work through it, you know what I'm talking about? And fact of the matter is, but I'm just a regular guy. You're a regular guy, you know what I'm talking about? It's tough. It's tough to sometimes even to keep a woman, you know what I'm saying, to stay married. Like we were talking about earlier, how many people Bill Gates divorced? You got billions of dollars, you know what I'm saying? Michael Jordan got divorced. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Tom Brady got divorced. I mean, name it, The Rock, name whoever is famous that has been divorced. And those are like the top-notch guys. Like if it's hard for them to keep a female, you know what I'm talking about? What do you think average guys are gonna have to go through? You know what I'm talking about? It's just society, the mentality has been changing in that aspect. Do you have anything to add to that?
No, not really. I would just say that like that's their experience. I feel like, I don't know, they're having a different experience with the people who are like top notch like that. I would say they're facing different things than like, I don't like to call you guys average, but like as you said in your own words, like average men are like facing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's different levels of exposure.
Yeah.
We don't really know what's happening in like those, you know what I mean? It could be like they're just not doing right by their women, you know, not necessarily like that it's the woman's fault. They're not able to keep the woman.
But if you hear podcasts all over the, you know, saying just internet, if they make money, whatever.
It's a lot of
you know,
you treat the woman though. Like, are they treating their women well? Like, you can make a lot of money and not treat your woman well. And, like, that's how you lose your woman. But it's not dependent like on the money. It's how you treat your woman.
Yeah, I think.
So then why do they take half the money then? If that's the case,
because if they're being treated like if they're being treated badly, why not take half the money? If it's a billionaire.
The fact of the matter is, everyone I mentioned, the woman left the guy. The guy didn't never lift the woman.
So then there's something wrong with the man's characteristics. Maybe he wasn't taking care of his woman. You can be rich and cheat on your wife all the time, and then the wife wants to leave because she's sick of getting like. That's just one example. I'm not saying that's what it all is, but I'm just saying. Like,
no, I'm just saying, and I agree with you. Maybe there is.
And those men are being exposed to like women like that because they do have so much money and they are famous. Like Michael Jordan can go up to like anybody he wants, pretty much. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So all I'm saying is, if it's hard for them to keep somebody, you know, say imagine just. I'm not saying I'm average. Hey, I'm above average. He's above average.
No, I know. I'm saying. I didn't mean.
I'm talking about.
You used the word
Jordan.
average, but I used the word average.
Because I'm putting myself compared to Jordan. You know, so I'm like, compared to Jordan. You know, saying, hey, he, you know, Jordan's man. You know what I'm saying?
I was just saying, like, I think she was just saying that you're like these extreme cases. They might be dealing with also these like extreme baggage that they have in their situation. You know, compared to.
But it's a lot. Brad Pitt, everybody. It's like,
Yeah, but those are all famous people who are exposed to. They're in Hollywood anyways.
Well,
First
those-
of all, who knows
exactly.
what they're doing? Diddy's doing stuff like you know.
and like you said, but all these women will come. All these women will come, and they'll accept that. They'll accept it. Maybe their wives were more accepting in the beginning. All of a sudden, whatever, they had enough. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, I'm just saying, I don't know what happened. All I'm saying is they're getting left. So saying like the guys that aren't billionaires, saying they'll probably get left as well too. You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean, it's all about how you treat your person.
Anybody could get that.
Yeah, anybody.
Yeah, but you could treat nice guys finish last. What do you think? Nice guys are mistreating women? These women aren't even giving nice guys chances. They wanna deal with that with that dude.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? And
No, but it's like you were saying, women want everything. They don't want just the nice guy. They also want the guy that can take care of them, but he's also the nice guy too. You know what I'm saying? They want multiple things. They don't just want the nice guy. So I feel like the nice guy point is kind of just that's assuming he's just nice. They don't want just someone who's just nice.
Okay, so now we've been talking about this for like 2-3 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Everything's about women. We have not mentioned anything that us men, because it doesn't really even matter.
What do you mean?
Like, for example, if I sit there, like I'm going based off, like I'm watching podcasts, you know what I'm saying? I'm going. So if I sit there and I tell a female, hey, you know what? I wouldn't date you. You're overweight for me. That's just my personal, view. It's nothing against you. It's just my personal. But if I say that I look like misogyny, it comes out quickly. All the way around, it doesn't. You know what I'm talking about?
I think it's just about how you say it. You know what I mean? Like it's about all how you say it.
I'm talking about. I've seen some monsters thinking they're tons. I think there's a lot of delusional people going on in this world. You know what I'm talking about? And you have to be real with yourself. You got to be real with yourself. And cut down all that delusion because hey, there's no way that a 3 or 4 want the same thing that a 10 wants. That 10 has a line of guys waiting around the corner for that 10. That 3 or 4, oh yeah, me too. Yeah, right. Stop lying to yourself. So now, how did we get here? From the past to here. So I'm gonna tell you guys, I'm gonna explain to you guys a little bit of what I've known and what I've seen, what I've talked to my parents, what they've taught me, and throughout my life. I'm gonna kind of try to give you guys some understanding of how we've got to where we are now. I know in the previous episode I talked a little bit about it, but I'm gonna go in a little more in depth with you guys. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start off, saying in let's say 1950s, 50s and 60s. All right, divorce rate low, so the opposite as today. Things used to work back then. Whatever the mentality of in certain individuals, it was they were more homebound. They were raised a certain way, and they did what they were taught. Okay, so that was that's why you see your grandmas and your grandpas, they stay together still. They're still together now. You know what I'm talking about? So now what in my personal opinion, what I've seen and what I've learned is that kind of like society or has kind of like hurt that way of thinking. And I'll explain to you why. Okay. So now say in the maybe in the 60s and 70s, if you have something to say, go ahead and say it.
No.
So maybe in the 60s and 70s, whatever, or in the 80s, they, say we were, say I was a kid. I'm a kid in the 80s. I'm a kid in the, I'm a kid in the 80s, and what I saw was all of a sudden welfare reform comes up, and now they're telling you, what, hey, I will take care of you and your kids as long as the father's not there. If the father's there, I'm not going to give you that first check. I'm not going to give you that. So now we're seeing the dad being pushed out of the house, and we're watching it. Us young men are watching this, and we're, you know what I'm saying. And sometimes, hey, the wealth people came, and the man's got to jump out the window just so they don't get caught, so they don't lose their status, whatever, and whatever they're doing. So as a young man, as young men, I can only talk about what I know. You know what I'm saying? We weren't rich. We were middle class. You know what I'm talking about? Maybe who knows? Maybe lower middle, whatever. We didn't have much growing up, whatever. You know what I'm talking about? But we did what we did to survive. You know what I'm talking about? But what us young men saw was we saw our dads being treated a certain way. So we grew up, and why am I going to be nice to? Why am I going to be a good man, good father, good brother, if I'm going to get pushed out? See, that's the mentality us growing up had. See, now that right there didn't really affect the women. The women, there was women that lived off that welfare reform and they loved it. Had 12 kids with 12 different guys and made all type of money or whatever, you know what I'm talking about? But what happened was, then now we grew up. My generation grows up, and we grew up. We're not respecting the home because we saw what happened to the home. But the moms, they raised their daughters like they got raised. They were good girls, good home girls. They were good. So see now the separation. Now us guys, you know, in the late 90s, 2000s, you know, we're over here like, you know what, hey, you know, hey, we grew up, you know, saying, hey, the more girls you have, you know, saying whether the cooler you are, you know, hey, I got, you know, different females, different area codes, you know, Tupac, Biggie, all them. That's all that was put into our heads. So what happened? So we didn't help the situation none at all. My generation did not help none at all. My generation actually started the downfall because why? We were you know, mistreating the women, you know what I'm saying, and we didn't even see anything wrong with it. Fact of the matter is, you know what I'm saying, and if you go around and see like my age group people, most men got 2, 3 baby mamas. That, you know what I'm saying, you hardly ever heard one. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong, it happened, but most, you know, saying most had a couple. You know, say just in our family, none of us had one mother. You know what I'm talking about? So then the girls are getting maltreated, and the men then they did not have respect to the women. Okay, so then now they had kids, they had children. Okay, so now it gets flipped. See, the moms they were maltreated, so they taught their children, which is your generation, taught their children to be extra nice to the women. Why? Because hey, you know, they got maltreated. They don't want you guys to do the same to the women. But then those same moms had daughters and taught their daughters, you don't need a man. You can do it on your own. You see how it got flipped? It got flipped. So now, taking that to today, that's what you see. You see the more masculinity in females. You see the more femininity in the males. That's what we're talking about. That syndrome, whatever. Peter Pan syndrome, whatever. Mm-hmm. That stuff. So that's right now. So we've been kind of pulled apart, and we're just a product of our environment, basically. You know what I'm talking about? So what we have to do, we have to go back. We have to go back. It's gonna be difficult. The society will not accept it. They will not accept it. But us as believers, we need to understand that the way things are going, everything's upside down. Things that were right are wrong now, and things that are wrong are right now. It's more acceptable. It's more accepting. But us as believers, you know, so we have to understand and be able to separate ourselves from the world. You know what I'm talking about? And if you can take that mentality into a relationship, you know, and like I said, I've told you both, you know, saying that if you guys do meet somebody, the first thing that they need to do is they need to love the Lord first. Because if they love the Lord, then they'll love you. You know, because obviously if they're following the Lord, you know, hey, the Lord came, Jesus came down and died on the cross for the church, for his bride. So basically, hey, you're a man, you know, saying you need to find a man that's willing to do that for you. You know, so because why? Our goal is to be him, and we have to follow what he says, and that's what he does. As a man, you want a woman that can help you become better in whatever you do. You know, I know if we use the word submissive, they take it the wrong way. But it's just an idea of hey, we need each other. We need each other to push ourselves forward. Okay, so that's what do you think about that? Do you think that's a good explanation? Can you kind of understand a little bit the way life has taken it from one way to another, one place to another? You can see it?
Yeah, no, it makes sense, yeah.
Can you kind of see it?
Yeah.
All right, good. Okay. So now, one thing is that we need to understand that society needs to understand is that to get what you want, you have to be a prize. You have to be the prize. This is why I try to raise you guys to be that prize. You know what I'm saying? But as a woman, you're born with that prize. You as long as you keep your purity and you're not out there just hey, whoever wants to take it, you're gonna stay up there. You're gonna stay up there. And a man, us as men, we come from the bottom. We have to work our way up. And we have to go to school and study, find a good job. We have to become somebody positive in society, and we're working our way up. So then, when we get up there, do you think we want someone that's up there with us? See, that's what I'm saying. So you have to keep you have to be the kind. You're the prize. Stay the prize. You become the prize. And things will start happening. Good things will start happening. You know what I'm talking about? Especially when you follow the Lord and let the Lord lead you and guide you into your future. You know what I'm saying? So basically, the one last thing I want to tell you guys is if the Lord has something for you guys, He has something for you. If he has a man for you, if He has a female for you, you know what I'm talking about? He's gonna make it happen. It's His way. As long as you allow Him to guide you and lead you and take you to where He wants to take you, He's gonna make it. No matter if you move away somehow, some way, it's gonna work out because His plan is perfect. His plan is perfect, and you just gotta leave it all. Have faith in Him and know that He's gonna do what He needs to do. You know what I'm saying? And especially if you're a good child, a good obedient son or daughter of His. He wants to give this to you. He wants to, take you guys, give you guys what you want. He wants to make you guys happy. He has your best interest. He has it in Him for you guys. So you don't have to go out there and chase something or beg for something. You know what I'm saying? Hey, no. You know what? Just let Him lead you, guide you. And He's the truth, the life, and the way. You know what I'm talking about? And what other who else can we follow better than that? So He's gonna do what we need to do. You know what I'm talking about? So is there anything else you would like to add to this conversation? What do you think about that? So are you gonna allow the Lord to lead you?
Well, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. If that happens, if you guys learn that little bit from me, and you know what, hey, all power, honor, and glory belongs to Him, and it's because it's through grace. First of all, you gotta remember, anything that we get is because of His grace. Say you meet the right guy, grace, because you could have got ran over by a car last week and never met this guy. You met him because it was in His plan and His love and His grace and His mercy for that same thing for you. You know what I'm talking about? So, you know what I'm saying? So just, and respect, you know what? And if you find a good person, be good. Be good to that person. You're not going to find too many out there. You know what I'm talking about? I wish somebody would install these things into our generation, but it was just totally different. So yeah, and then you guys, like the men nowadays they're a lot nicer than we were. The women are a lot tougher than the women were back then. But you don't want that one. You want that. That's why I'm trying to set up this retreat or whatever, or the convention, so you can just open up, say opportunities if you haven't met somebody at school or wherever, you know what I'm talking about. So this is what's going on. But anyways, with that being said, this will be the end of today's episode. So from the OPP, we want to say God bless. Stay safe, stay smooth. We out. Peace.